Hello, welcome to a new episode of Geek Lunch Me. I'm your host Chris. As usual, a big hello to all the new subscribers, and we've got a flurry of new subscribers in the last week or so. So thanks to everyone that subscribed. It really helps out the channel a great deal, and we absolutely love having you here. In today's video, I thought I would take a look at Star Wars Galaxy, the trading card set that was released by the Topps company. It was quite a sort of innovative thing at the time. And sort of especially so because it came during the dark times, that period of years where Star Wars had sort of gone off the radar. We'd last had Return of the Jedi in 1983. Since then, all we'd had were the droids and the Ewoks cartoons, the two Ewok movies, and then unfortunately, then we'd just been sort of barren wasteland for quite a while. Heir to the Empire, the novel by Timothy Zahn, it sort of just kick-started the sort of Star Wars renaissance in 1991, I think it was. And then in 1992, for the 15th anniversary of Star Wars, Topps, the company, decided to produce some trading cards. They had originally done all the cards for the original movies, all featuring all photographs or from the films. As sort of that was the thing. A bit of history. Topps was founded in 1938. It mainly did all the sports cards, baseball, American football, basketball, ice hockey, all those sorts of things. And they started doing non-sports cards, as they called them, and sort of like incorporating all movies. And they decided for the 15th anniversary, they were going to do something different. And Topps had just started its comic division. It would go on to do things like the Jurassic Park adaptation, and subsequent comics came out under the Topps banner. But so they decided to do a series of trading cards, and they ended up calling it Star Wars Galaxy. And instead of photos from the films, it was going to feature artwork via all the comic book artists that they sort of now sort of had a relationship with via Topps Comics. So in 1992, we got the Star Wars Galaxy trading card series, 140 cards. They would go on to release, I think it was 7 series in total, going up to 2012. But this first series was really nicely done. Some fantastic artwork, some great artists, and also they did some sort of special things with it, which we'll go through. We'll go through the set, the binder. They released a book containing all of the artwork. They released this sort of deluxe box set of the set as well, which we'll have a look at. And they released this absolutely beautiful book, which is signed by so many great artists. And so we'll take a look inside that in a minute as well. And of course, if you like the video, why not give it a thumbs up? Helps out the channel a great deal. Helps the videos get seen by a lot more people. So let's take a closer look at the Star Wars Galaxy Series 1 trading card set and all of its sort of associated memorabilia. Okay, so this is not how the set would have originally come. It would have been a bit like, you bought the cards in packs, not knowing what was in them. You obviously wound up getting doubles of cards, much like when you were kids, swapping football stickers and things like that, and go around the playground, got swap, all that sort of malarkey. Don't forget this was 92. There was no eBay sort of going at the time either, so you had to sort of trade amongst other people that sort of went in the comic book store, places where you bought these cards from. But once you'd put together a set, you could get this binder they put out, this ring binder, Star Wars Galaxy, Topps trading cards, your Millennium Falcon sort of graphic in the background there. And so the best way to keep trading cards safe is these plastic sleeves that you can get. Now you can see Star Wars Galaxy 140 card collection. The artwork by legendary artist Drew Struzan of George Lucas. I've got a feeling that was the cover of a book that he did. And then we've got these character portraits by artist Joe Smith, which are all very nicely done. On the backs of the cards, you've just got a bit of information about the character and the artist, so the rest of the character portraits. And then we've got a lot of concept artwork by the legendary Ralph McQuarrie, Joe Johnston, who would go on to be a director in his own right and do was it Jumanji, Rocketeer, and Captain America, the First Soldier. I think probably might be some Ron Cobb stuff in here as well. So all the legendary concept artists that work on the films. So this was like the first bits. Got some of the original costume sketches by what's the name? Is it Nilo Rodis Jamero? That's the one. All very nice. Some Ralph McQuarrie concept paintings also that he did for the film. And these are some of the original poster designs that were done. The famous one here down the bottom. This gorgeous piece by Tom Cantrell that was used on quite a lot of foreign posters. And so the Juice Drusen, I think it was, I think it might have been the first anniversary poster. I think it's known as the Circus poster, one of George Lucas's favourites. Some of the foreign posters always got quite weird art on them. That's Ralph McQuarrie's painting for the cover of the Splinter of the Mind's Eye novel, which was sort of the first sequel to Star Wars before Empire Strikes Back come out. So Dave Dorman's paintings for the Dark Empire comic, which was another sort of coming out of the dark times. It was one of the sort of big Renaissance sort of Star Wars re-emerging into the public eye with the absolutely superb Dark Empire comic book series. There's more posters and promo artwork done for the various films. I think that's Boris Vallejo artwork at the bottom there. Juice Drusen's Revenge of the Jedi poster just before the release of the film. Obviously, George suddenly decided Jedis don't take revenge and changed it to Return of the Jedi that we know and love. That is, I think, it's Ralph McQuarrie's artwork. I think it was done as a moving card when Lucasfilm moved to its new building. And here we get to sort of the actual sort of main set where we've got all brand new original artwork produced by some of the sort of greatest comic book artists and illustrators in the world at the time. Just taking a quick look, we've got Paul Chadwick who did the Concrete comic. I think that's Jeff Darrow with the Wampa and the Probe droids. Jeff Darrow go on to do Shaolin Cowboy comic. Hard Boiled, famously with Frank Miller, and also did most of the design work for the first Matrix film as well. Dave Dorman painting featuring all of the droids. I mean, at the time, Dave was ubiquitous, did all the Star Wars Dark Empire covers, did most of the Star Wars covers for Dark Horse, a lot of the Indiana Jones stuff as well. He was sort of one of their go-to artists. Really distinctive Keith Giffen's artwork style of Bib Fortuna there. Cam Kennedy, who did all the interior artwork for Star Wars Dark Empire, absolutely gorgeous style. Sam Keith, who legendary comic book artist who created the Max, absolutely fantastic comic book, and was made an animated series on MTV as well. Mike Mignola, creator of Hellboy, very distinctive his style, beautiful Tusken Raider. And we've got Jean Mobius Gerard, the sort of legendary Mobius, his depiction of 3PO. Walter Simonson of sort of Thor fame, I suppose, probably most famous for depicting Obi-Wan and Vader. Bill Sienkiewicz, his Vader portrait. He did legendary artist, the Daredevil, Elektra, New Mutant, Stray Toasters. Portrait of Luke by Dave Stevens, who created the Rocketeer. Absolutely beautiful artwork. If you've not seen those original Rocketeer comics, highly recommend. His ink work, his brush work is absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, died of leukemia at a young age. A nice sort of watercolor looking illustration of Wicked the Ewok there as well, from William Stout, I think that is. And then basically you had the cards, you had the the checklist as usual. You could tick off all the ones you had. Then obviously there's always special cards. These were 6 foil cards from Walter Simonson, but obviously show the main characters, and they all go together to form this one complete picture. And down the bottom here, these are just a couple of promo cards, same artwork, but on the backs, basically just advertising that the series was coming out. And Me From the Past is kindly put on there. This one was free with Classic Star Wars number 8, the 8th issue of the Dark Horse reprints that was. And then this was free with Starlog magazine number 191. So say there's some little extras in there as well. So that's the basic set and the folder that you could put it in afterwards. And then after that, they released the Art of Star Wars Galaxy book, which basically it gives you a bit of information about the artists and how the sort of project come together. And then it's basically got bigger versions of all the cards, going into detail there. So that's the foil chase cards, as they're all done as the one piece of artwork. And then basically you've got a little bit of information about the artist and why they sort of picked the scene to draw that they did. And it's a lovely book. The trading cards are nice, but obviously to see some of the artwork up close, you can see a lot more of the details in it. It's nice that you can look closer, like especially like the Mignola one here of the Tusken Raider. You can actually sort of look at the artist technique in a bit more detail. So that was the Art of Star Wars Galaxy, which is the book they published afterwards, which contains obviously all the cards. They then brought out a collection here, the Star Wars Galaxy Deluxe Trading Card Millennium Falcon Factory Set. So as you can see, limited edition, 10,000 sets. I mean, I don't know how limited that it is. I suppose it's less than mass commercially produced things. And it basically says includes all 140 Star Wars Series 1 cards, all 6 of the chase cards, an exclusive card number 0, a 3D hologram card, exclusive Star Wars Galaxy Series 2 preview card, a Star Wars Galaxy Series 1 card autographed by the artist, collected in a handsome replica of the Millennium Falcon, suitable for display. So let's open it up and take a look. I wouldn't say the replica of the Millennium Falcon is particularly handsome or suitable for display, but let's take a look inside and you can decide for yourself. As you can see, what I'll do, I'll take it out. So basically what you've got here is a vacuum plastic vacuum formed. We've got Star Wars Galaxy in silver on the side, and a sort of vacuum formed plastic Millennium Falcon there just on the top. Nothing to write home about. Then there's a box inside which contains the factory set. Basically, if we open this up, there we go. I'll see if I can get this on camera. This is the exclusive hologram card, which basically features the artwork that was on all the boxes of Darth Vader. Hopefully I'll try and get that so without too much reflection. There we go, that might be a bit better. Then there was all the foil cards, the 6 chase cards that make up the one picture. This was the signed card. This one is obviously this picture of Princess Leia, signed by the artist Ted Boone-Thanakit, I believe is how you pronounce his name. So that's his autograph on the front there. And this was the exclusive. This is card 0, which you can only get say in this factory set, featuring, I think, is it Ken Stacy? Yeah, writer illustrator Ken Stacy there, who did the artwork. So this was used on all the promotional posters and the packets. That's the promo card for season 2 of some Jawas. Does it say who's done the artwork there? Oh yeah, illustration by Dave Gibbons of Watchmen fame. And then here, this is basically then just the rest of the cards, although they had this fancy silver embossing on all the cards, which is different than the normal set. So yeah, that's the deluxe trading card Millennium Falcon factory set. It's okay. It's it's got some nice exclusive cards. This thing is not exactly worth writing home about. But then what they did produce was a deluxe version of the Art of Star Wars Galaxy book, which is absolutely fantastic, and we'll get that out now. So this is the deluxe version of the Art of Star Wars Galaxy book. It is a thing of beauty. I absolutely love it. It takes pride of place in my collection. I love books, and fancy books even more so, and this one is particularly special. It comes in this sort of slipcase. Again, it's got the card on the front featuring the Ken Stacy artwork. When we open it up, it's got inside, so you can see. It says here, this is the deluxe signed edition of the Art of Star Wars Galaxy. The book and the tray case, handmade in the United States of America using American fabrics, top grain English pigskin, textured German rayon, and French hand marbled papers. Pages were printed in Canada, published in March 1994 by Underwood Illamink for Lucas Arts Entertainment Company and the Topps Company. So it's got this tray sort of lined with velvet, keeping it safe. You can pull on this ribbon to pull it out. You know, a book is a nice book when it's got a ribbon to keep it all safe. And here it is. It still comes in this little protective plastic bag. And here we go. And you can see, absolutely gorgeous. These are the hand marbled papers, saying it's bound in leather. Smells gorgeous. Wish you could smell it. I love that smell of classy books. And if we take a look inside, these are the gorgeous rayon end papers. Got a sort of a shimmer to them. And here we go. So straight away, we've got this brand new illustration of the Krayt Dragon by Ralph McQuarrie. The Krayt Dragon, which would eventually turn up in the first episode, season 2 of The Mandalorian. And we can see it says this is numbered 303 of 1,000 numbered copies. So there's only 1,000 copies were printed. Makes it quite special. It is also signed by Ralph McQuarrie at the bottom as well. Obviously, Ralph McQuarrie, an absolute legend in the film world. All of the original production paintings for Star Wars. He also worked on Battlestar Galactica, designed the spaceship at the end of E.T. and also the spacecraft in Cocoon as well. And then we go on, say this has just got so many signatures. First of all, we've got Mobius, Jean Mobius Gerard, legendary comic book artist, Blueberry, Airtight Garage, Arzak, some of his absolutely gorgeous work. Again, also worked in film, a lot of the original designs for Tron, designed the NTIs for The Abyss, worked on The Fifth Element as well. Very distinctive style, gorgeous. Dave Dorman, who I mentioned before, still produces loads of sort of comic book covers, and was the go-to for Dark Horse to do all of their Star Wars and Indiana Jones covers at the time. We've got John J. Muth at the bottom, another artist and illustrator as well. On this page, you've got Dao Keown, comic artist, worked at Marvel, probably most famous for his work on the Hulk, and created the original character. The Pit, Sam Kieth, I already mentioned, creator of the Max, one of my favourite comic artists, very distinctive style, well worth checking out his stuff. George Pratt, another painter and illustrator, worked on Batman as well, I believe. Joe Quesada, absolute legend in the industry, went on to become editor-in-chief at Marvel. William Stout's autograph, another artist and illustrator, famous for doing a lot of dinosaur artwork, does that sort of in sort of the paleontology world. Also did a lot of the storyboards for Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then the autograph of Dave Stevens, say the legend creator of The Rocketeer, who is sadly no longer with us. Michael Kaluta, a lot of Batman covers for DC, I think back in the 70s. Probably most famous for doing most of the artwork for The Shadow, the pulp hero, which was published by DC, I think mostly in the 70s, early 80s. Say Bill Sinkovich, as I mentioned before, worked on Moon Knight as well as Elektra and New Mutants, still working today. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, a legend. I keep using the word legendary, but Jim Steranko, Nick Fury, most famous for, but also did much like Ralph McQuarrie did for Star Wars, did a lot of the production illustrations for Raiders of the Lost Ark, which are absolutely beautiful and don't sort of get don't really get seen as much as sort of McQuarrie's Star Wars work. But yeah, I'll seek them out. They are gorgeous. They could do with a decent book or portfolio of those. And lastly, but not least, Charles Vess's autograph. Which fancy probably worked on the Sandman, some issues of the Sandman with Neil Gaiman, amongst plenty of other comics work. I think then basically it's more or less the same book, say as the regular version, but obviously just in this absolutely gorgeous package, say, and signed by so many illustrious comic book artists. So that's a little look at Series 1 of Star Wars Galaxy trading cards. Hope you enjoyed just a little look at some of the items in my collection. Until next time, take care, and don't forget, eat, geek, and be merry.